Welcome and thank you for taking a look at this video. You've probably seen a World Ventures presentation and you're ready to get started. So this video is about a new member enrolling through their sponsor's URL. That just means you've asked the person that invited you to take a look at the information for their website and you're signing up from there, right? So have a pen and paper ready, okay? Because you will need to write down a few things like your date you've entered or enrolled, your URL, and a few other things along the way. So always handy to have a pen and paper. So I'm using a friend's website here just to do this video, right? So that could be that's where your sponsor's website goes in. That's where you type it, and then you just make sure that's her, confirm that's her ID number on the right, and click on the sign up button, and off you go. The minute you click on the sign up button, it will take you to the next page, which is a drop down list of the countries. The reason we use your sponsor's website is because that way we ensure that you are directly going in their team, right? So here's the countries. So if you're signing up in Fiji, right, you would click on Australia. Choose Australia because right now you all fall under Australia. Of course, out of Fiji, if you're signing up anyone in any of these other countries, they would select their respective countries. So the next page takes you to your level of membership that you want to start off with, right? So in this case, there's gold chosen here, right? Above that is silver, gold, platinum, and titanium. So say this person was going in as a gold member and a rep, which is the representative side, the business side, they choose that as well, right? And below this, as you can see here, are other packages that they can include in their enrollment, which is trainings and upgrades, right, as well. But you can always come back and choose this later as well. You can always upgrade later. So we've chosen gold and platinum, and then we go to click on continue, and that takes you to the next page where you fill out your personal information. So here you click individual, and then very simple to quickly follow, but the only things to keep in mind is your name and date of birth. Because it's American, right? It's the other way around. So you're putting in your last name first and then your first name. And your date of birth again is the American way. There's a little indication here, right? You put in your month first and then your date of birth and then the year. Cool. So that's your personal information. And then the second one is your URL. So this is what you want your personal websites to be called, right? Or what you want it to look like. So, so just your first name and second name, and that's how it'll show up, .worldventures.biz, but you do not punch in the whole website. You just punch in your URL, your name on there. And it's always useful to click on check availability, right? Some people want to use a different name for the URL, say for example, travel adventures or something like that. Always check availability because, more than likely it's already used up. So, you'll have to think of something else. So I just tell people to just use your name, your first name and last name, and it's easier that way, right? So that's that, the URL. The next page is where you enter your email address. And then you have to enter it twice just to see if it's consistent and you haven't made a mistake in punching in a digit or something. This I prefer, have a personal email account, not your work one or a business one, only because sometimes, the server on at your workplace might just send emails from World Ventures into spam or junk mail, and then you will never get to see it, right? After your email is entered, then you put in your password, You just select whatever you want your password to be. And again, write it down, please, because a lot of people tend to forget what they used as their password. And then your favorite question, your secret question. In this case, I've just put in your favorite color and then the answer. Again, write this down because these are security questions and it might pop in later, you know, when you're signing in different places in the World Ventures website. And then you put in your phone number. So it says, please specify at least one phone number. So you don't have to put in all three, just one. And I recommend your mobile number. So if you're in Fiji, it's just 679 and then your mobile number. You do not put the plus sign or any space, right? Just 679 and then your mobile number. So that's that. And just keep in mind, with all this information here, you're able to change this in your back office, which is the .biz website later on, right? So even if you've put in a password and you don't like it, you want to go and change it later on, you can change all of this, even your email, your secret question, your mobile number, anything, you can always go on in there later on to change this, right? Okay, the next one is address. So address, you will have two addresses that you need to put in, right? One is your mailing address. So this is your physical address where you live. It cannot be a PO box, right? So what happens here is because you've chosen Australia as the country to enroll, right? Australia will be set here at the bottom under country. So you can't change that. But the mailing address you're putting in here, the very first address, will be your physical address, right? So in this case, it's 5 Vishnudeo Road, Patua Levu, Nandi. Now, then you've got to select a state, just say New South Wales, and just 2000, because Sydney postcode is 2000, right? The reason we do this is because firstly, nothing gets mailed out at this address, right? So the second address that's the mailing address. The second address is your shipping address. So the shipping address needs to be an Australian address, because if you receive packages or if you receive any sort of mail from World Ventures, it's going to come to a physical, a legit Australian address. Cool. So in this case, I'm asking people, you know, you can use my address, which is over there, on there, or just ask your sponsor and they'll pass it down to you when you're enrolling. And do not click same as mailing address, because it's going to bring up the previous address, right? So leave that unticked and physically punch in the Australian address. That's the Australian address there. And then you've come to your shopping cart, right? Here you're able to check your products, what you've chosen, a quick, glance at what you've chosen. Sometimes people are in a rush and they instead of gold, they've clicked silver, or, and you can always modify your purchase, right? You can go back, click on that, go back and choose the right one. Or maybe you've forgotten to click on representative business system, the rep side, right? You can go back, modify purchase, and add the RBS to it. It also gives you the final amount in USD. So here you're quickly able to convert as well as to how much it's going to cost you in Fijian dollars, right? So while I was doing this one, I quickly looked it up. So just rounded it off, 279, right? Made it 280. And there it tells me it's around the $630 mark in Fijian dollars, right? And on the right-hand side is your monthly fees. So you can straight away see what you will be paying the following month, right? In this case, it's $90.18, and that's around the $200 Fijian mark. Cool? Okay. The next page we come to is the billing information, right? Your payment method. So always choose the card, right? Don't worry about that I pay out. I don't even know what that is for. Choose card, and you will require at least a debit card, okay, to go ahead. So you need a debit card or a credit card if you have one. Now, once you click on card, it will take you to the payment part, which is where you enter your card details. So if you're using, say, your husband's card, right, his name has to go on here, right? Because otherwise you won't be able to go on to the next page. So if you're using his card, automatically your name will come up. You just change the name there, right? Put in the 16-digit card number. The security code is the 3 digits on the back of the card next to the signature panel. Expiration date, the month and the year. And don't worry about the address, that's fine, right? So make sure these 3 things are on there. I must just point out here, in Fiji, if you're using a BSP card, just make sure it's one with a chip, right? Because that will allow you to pay your fees automatically the following month without giving the bank authorization. Okay, so once that is done, you just click submit, and then it brings you to the terms and conditions. So just on the left, you see all that is ticked here. Just tick everything, right? And then go to the next one. Sorry, just below that, after you've ticked everything, is your policies and procedures. So you make sure you scroll right to the bottom of this, right? Because that allows you on the next page to check out. So if you haven't scrolled to the bottom of the terms and conditions, it will not activate your checkout button, right? So here again, a final look at what you've chosen. In this case, it's gold and rep, and that's your final amount. If it's all good, you just press checkout, and this is the final. If it's all good, everything's gone through, you will get to see something like this, which will just say, congratulations, your enrollment was successful, right? And over here, you will be issued with your ID number. So just make a note of the ID number, because the ID number and the password that you used is what you will need to log into your back office, your Dream Trips website, your app, and a few other things, right? So always make a note of your URL, your password, and your ID number. Now, straight away, you, the new rep, and your enroller, your sponsor, sorry, both get an email from World Ventures with all these details. So you'll just get an email saying, welcome, and with all your details on there as well. Great idea to save your email as well, so that just flag it or something, so that even if you've forgotten or lost that piece of paper where you've written everything down, you can always go back to the email for reference. So that's it. If you get stuck anyway with anything while enrolling, just get in touch with your sponsor and they'll be able to help you out. Hope you found this useful. Thank you and all the best.